Thank you. My background, I've been over in the transport sector in Europe for over 40 years. I know it's hard to believe. We start work really young in Scotland. Over the last 17 years, I've been working in European projects covering the... Sorry? It's okay, I'm just giving the background. Well, I'm just doing an introduction while we get feed up. I was 25 years in the UK bus industry. I was in charge of operations at the bus company in Dundee. I've worked as a consultant, worked in research at Aberdeen University, and worked in over 17 European projects. So, but big data, the solution to all our problems is data. We all know this. The more data we get, the better the world will be. Or will it? So what we're trying to achieve, the one thing in any problem in the world is only solved if we understand the problems we're trying to solve. So big data, what we're trying to do? Well, hopefully we're trying to make the world a better place. It should be cleaner, maximise the benefits to society, understand the real issues. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we can be discussing this in the group that follows. So what data do we need? Now I'm going to turn this into a cookery presentation soon. What data do we really need to solve the transport mobility problems? There's a big difference between what we want and what we need. And the data that's out there that comes from various sources, and what are the benefits of the open data? We've heard some of the results, and what data can we trust? This is the key element, trust. Who can we trust? Your data is my data. Do we share data? Do I trust you? Do you trust me? Do authorities trust operators? And what are the real issues? So how can big data, what is it doing to transfer mobility? This is where the big debate comes to. How do we make this easy to understand? So this is the first time I've used this presentation because I've fed up listening to myself doing this all over Europe. I'm trying to turn this into a recipe. So if we think of transport like baking a cake, traditionally we've designed public transport and we provide bus services, train services, and you either like it or you don't. And the infrastructure was the roads, the rail, the vehicles. But nowadays with data, we can identify every single person's needs. So when you think of a recipe, if you want to bake a cake, you get the simple ingredients for that cake. And if you like that cake, you buy it. In public transport terms, we've designed public transport, and in many cases don't suit people's needs because we didn't know what their needs were. Well, now with everybody carrying mobile phones we can get as much data as we like. So the days of not knowing what people want are long gone. So we can identify gaps. So that means we no longer have to make one cake. We can now look at various sizes of cakes. Does this make sense? Well, how do you get this across? Think of infrastructure as the microwave oven. Every city has a size and a capacity. So if the microwave oven is the infrastructure, that surrounds, that supplies the roads, and that's where we do the business. That's where we bake the cake. That's where we make the services. Traditionally, we would make one cake or two cakes in there. However, and how do we, in the future, we can identify people that just like taxis, people like to car share, people like to cycle. How do we actually encourage them to do things? And this is where we need regulations that are more flexible. So we need a traditional framework would be like a cookbook. You have the recipe, how to bake, or how to make a cake, or how to make a public transport service. But now with big data, we're trying to make numerous services to encourage people to go to mass type environment, where people want a piece of car, piece of cycling, they want the information, they want it to be easily paid. So we need to create a cookbook for a flexible transport system. Create the rules that are flexible, easy to understand, and attractive for people to start new businesses. Because this is not about technology. This is about now trying to get people to change. You, I, and everybody in this room has to change. It's not just a case that we make one cake and there's several layers and silos that work together, as it is traditionally at the moment. What we now want to bake is lots of different cakes that still fits into the same microwave oven, which is the infrastructure. So cities developed systems in the past and networks based on a hub and spoke that was easily to operate for bus operators like myself. The bus left the depot at 6 o'clock in the morning, come back at midnight, run up and down the road all day. People's demands go across cities back and forward, change all the time. Now it's not beyond the realms of man or woman to design public transport services that are flexible, operate in flexible routes, demand responsive transport, which I've written numerous books on. It's how we actually identify what the network can do, what the operators are willing to do, and what people are willing to pay for and what they want to do. Mobility as a service will be discussed in the discussion group that's coming up. It's data-driven, multimodal, customer-focused, and the customer decides. We have to remember, we're trying to persuade people. The whole, as the professor this morning said, we have to be customer-focused. Now, back in 2004, I was in, or 2001 when I came up with the concept of Flexible Agency for the Mobility of Services, the FARMS project funded by the European Union. A simple concept: from the day you're born to the day you die, you're a consumer. So your needs vary throughout your whole life. So you're on one side, and then you have the total supply chain on the other side, and in the middle you have an agency that collects the data and brokers the service. Simple. 2004 we thought we were going to be the next Bill Gates. However, politics comes into it, technology comes into it. It was not the time. However, now with mass, it is the time. We have the technology, we have the we have all the things there, apart from political will, silo mentality thinking in some political organisations, some operators. We also have the black economy, which is big in the taxi trade, and particularly in some areas where you are not dealing with legal organisations that are bona fide businesses. There's a lot of, shall we say, drug laundering goes on in taxi companies, and I'm not saying all taxi companies, and there's also a fair number of politicians that are ex-taxi drivers, and trying to get Uber are finding the problems that they're finding, Lyft, and there are all. You can come up with a concept in theory that is going to solve the world's problems, but in reality, there could be a problem in the background you don't see visible, stopping things happening. So new public transport business models built on data. Uber, Lyft have shown that technology can meet the customer's needs. Car sharing is becoming more prevalent. Ride sharing is another possibility. Bike sharing, Sweden is huge. The infrastructure that's been put in Sweden, in fact, if anybody wants to go and see where most of these things are actually happening, go to Sweden. They're not talking about it, they've been doing it for years. Demand responsive transport, bus rapid transit, autonomous vehicles, all these things are now up, running, and can do this. So the future design of an infrastructure has to be designed to be multimodal. So we need hubs that feed into express bus services, bus rapid transit. We've got to recognise, also bring health into the design of our services. It's okay saying that we cause air pollution causes health problems. Obesity, diabetes, and illnesses like that is caused by eating, lack of activity. We've got to try and encourage people to cycle. We've got to try and get people to take care of themselves. And we've got to look at how we design our complete transport networks and infrastructure to make our cities healthy, attractive to live in, and this needs data and all the silos to be broken. So health works with planning, planning works with transportation, roads works with all the different departments. We want to make our cities better, we want to make our own lives better, and we've got to design multimodal hubs that will make people actively want to travel in a means other than a car. So open data in the transport sector, we've got GPS, ticketing, real-time information, driver mobility tools, journey planning, they're all there. We have the ingredients. Business models, I've already covered that. And we've also got new opportunities. If we can identify a problem, we can encourage others to actually come out. For every problem in the world, there's a potential solution. And for every solution creates a different problem. There's opportunities there. So we need to look at multimodal budget sharing, developing new cost and price models to allow new companies to come into the market. Now, one of the projects I'm involved in, and I hope the technology, does it work? Do we have Wi-Fi? Yeah? Yeah. One of the projects I'm currently involved in, is the CIPTEC project, where we've been looking at how we can use co-creation and involve more stakeholders in the design of products and services. And it's been hugely successful in encouraging push and pull methods to encourage people to switch to public transport. He hopes this goes to come up and run. Here we go. This last 2 minutes.
In Europe, public transport services are very advanced. But are they all weather services? Are they accessible to everyone? Do they provide accurate and sufficient information? Are they always a positive experience for passengers? These, as well as other problems, are why a growing number of people are staying away from public transport. The consequences? Congestion, smog, noise pollution, traffic accidents. We are not looking at the problem through the window. This is why we created CIPTEC, a European research project that collects and processes innovative ideas and solutions which will drastically improve public transport in European cities. What are we doing? We study prevailing trends, explore the needs of public transport stakeholders, and revisit existing policies. We utilize the collective intelligence of both current and potential users of public transport. We collect innovative ideas and proposals by means of crowdsourcing. These ideas are forwarded for evaluation to interactive workshops taking place in various European cities. We create a unique digital toolbox featuring all the innovative results of this research. We will offer it to governing authorities as well as public transport providers and experts, to social enterprises, to passengers' federations, to the scientific community, to all of us. By capitalizing on social innovation, we can make public transport more attractive and accessible for everyone. We will redesign public transport collectively at a low cost and by means of new ideas developed and advanced by us, for us. Ideas that move the world. CIPTEC, Collective Innovation for Public Transport in European Cities. A joint action of 12 partners from 7 European countries, part of the Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Programme of the European Union. For more information, visit ciptec.eu.
So that gives you an example that we recognised when we were putting together the bid that, hold on, escape. Yep. Remember we lost this the last time. No, we recognised that when we were putting the project together that we have the technologies. The one thing that we don't have is a means of engaging with the community in a wider way, and how can we actually work with people from different sectors, break down traditional silo thinking and look at how we can actively encourage other organisations to influence the policymakers in transportation, so we don't look at transportation in isolation from health, society, and get the end users involved in the whole process at the design stage. We are great at causing problems and consulting after we've built the bus, we've built the bus station, or built the product. Let's look at how we can actually use co-creation and methods like that. And the results through our colleagues in the university in Brussels of using push techniques and rewards has seen growth of between 5 and 7% use.
Intelligent transport systems are an issue everyone is talking about.
This is the new bits
Cooperative
project.
collision avoidance, real-time traffic information, and optimization of parking areas are all close at hand. However, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The potentials are far from being exhausted. Experts from all over Europe have therefore set the objective to share, discuss, and further develop the present findings on market deployment of relevant existing applications and services on a single platform. New bits, new business models for intelligent transport systems. Together, we will gain insights and draw conclusions based on consolidated usage and statistical data from completed and ongoing projects. Develop new business models, providing a more efficient and quicker market entry for intelligent transport systems. Come and join the New Bits network and make your contribution.
Now, the great thing about this project is it actually has shipping, rail, air, public transport working together, because we realise that we can actually use our business tools and methods to get an understanding of societal problems in the design of a multimodal transport solution network and develop new business models. So from that point of view, big data is the...
Intelligent transport systems,
excuse me,
or
I'm looked on to
ITS,
something
are
else here.
transport systems that use communications technologies
I'll
to
just-
link
if it's
people,
cut video
roads, and
just now, it doesn't
vehicles
matter. We
with
didn't
the
do
aim
that.
of solving various traffic-related issues.
Yeah, that's it. And then
Toyota
finally,
taking
like my
various
colleague here from
initiatives to
America,
create
I've also helped set up a magazine called Intelligent Transport Magazine based in the UK to actually promote best practice globally in the market of new technologies. And it comes back to we need to share best practice. There's countries like Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Norway that are well advanced compared with other parts of Europe. And they're pretty shy people. They don't like going about telling everybody how good they are. But if you get a chance to visit Gothenburg, Stockholm, or Malmo, Copenhagen, Oslo, or Helsinki, it's amazing what they've done. They're small countries that realise the value of their people, the value of the country, the value of clean air, and they're exemplar sites. And also we can learn from Portugal. Every country can learn from everybody else, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And this is why with intelligent transport, it's not just tools, it's thinking, it's being intelligent, admitting that you can learn from others. And this is the whole part. I do most of my work in Europe, and it's fantastic that we can have events like today, share our backgrounds, share our fears, be honest, tell the truth. Nothing is perfect. There's not what works in one country is not guaranteed to work in another, and it's how we work together to make this a better world, and that is our legacy to our kids in the future. So open data is like blood to the public transport sector. That's the data that will actually supply the future design of our services, and our cities and rural areas need services that are designed that maximise the use of the resources. We've got to look at business models like Lean from Toyota that looks at maximising the use and eliminating waste. We need new cost and revenue sharing models. We need data protection issues to be addressed so people trust what we're trying to do. And we've got to try and make life fun again. Yes, with big data, we can have our cake and eat it, I think. It's all about working together, and thank you for the opportunity. Sorry I cut back and forward here. I was going to do it as a cookery thing, but I only had 15 minutes, and I've never done this analogy. But I think today we certainly have demonstrated how complex things are. But if we work together, I think we can make the world a better place. Thank you.